At Nissan of Silsbee, did you know that we have a complete service department? Whether you need detailed mechanical work or just a $12.95 oil change, we can handle it for you. And we rent new Nissans. And we rent to everybody. Get a 3-day weekend for just $99 or rent it longer.
And of course, we sell. Get a 2011 Nissan Altima for just $199 per month or get a great deal on a certified pre-owned vehicle.
But best of all, at Nissan of Silsbee, we're making deals the Silsbee way.
JP White, SportsSpeak Sports, where we talk sports, and happy to have Les Hall, Silsbee. Hello, Les.
Say, JP.
Hey, we got a mighty interesting subject that I'm all excited about. By the way, yeah, you played a little football. Tell me about it.
Well, I went to high school at Horace Mann. It was on the campus of Northwest Missouri. It was a training school, and my introduction to football, we decided to have a JV game a sophomore year, and on the kickoff, we kicked off to Westboro, and they were ball carriers coming down the field, and the lead blocker blocked me right at the ankles, and I went, and it was legal then, and I went flying over, and the runner's foot and cleats came right up in my mouth. Broke a tooth and my teeth were crooked, but it still didn't turn me off from football. I was out again the next year, made the varsity. And
well, tell how 6 men, how do they play? What's the difference? Explain what it's all about.
Well, you generally have center and 2 ends and quarterback and a couple of running backs. Some of them run from the spread, and but you don't have the tackles and guards, and it's a lot more wide open. It's more almost like basketball.
You play on a regular field?
It's not quite as wide.
Okay.
And as a regular field, it takes 15 yards for first down.
Okay.
And
you get to 4?
But
4 plays?
And I believe you do. It's a long time ago. I don't know where the rules. They still play it out in West Texas.
Do they?
And, well, Chester up here is playing 6-man anymore.
Who's that?
Chester.
No kidding. Chester right over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
They didn't have enough for 11-man, so they went 6-man.
How about that?
But Westboro had a championship team one year, and they had a running back by the name of Murdoch, and he was about 5'8" and about 235, and he charged down the field, and his legs were just like pistons. And he'd have 3 or 4 guys riding on his back and pick up about 10, 12 yards every time.
I'll say.
So they won the conference, and then they played in the Popcorn Bowl. And they represented Missouri, and they went over and got a team from Nebraska, and they played at Tarkio, Missouri in the Popcorn Bowl.
I'll say.
Because they used to grow popcorn around Tarkio.
How about that? Well, sure. Obviously, then, you're from Missouri, and I know you know something about Puxico, Missouri.
Oh, yes, we heard about Puxico.
What do you remember much about Puxico? You were just a little north of Puxico.
Well, we was the other end of the state. We was northwest, and they were southeast.
Okay, yeah, okay, southeast. There's near Poplar Bluff, Missouri, right?
So it's probably a distance about 350 miles or so.
Okay, but still you knew about Puxico.
Everybody in Missouri knew about Puxico.
I'll say, how about that? Tell some of the stories you know about Coach Arnold Ryan of Puxico Indians.
Well, I knew about his team, and I knew about our outstanding basketball team in '51 in Northwest Missouri was Skidmore, and nobody could match them. And their coach was Coach Worley. But anyway, they were undefeated. And they went down the state tournament to meet Puxico, and we thought, you know, they had a pretty good chance. It ended up that Puxico had 97 points, and they had 46, and Skidmore had to stall to keep them from making 100 points.
Oh, and both of them were undefeated when they started.
Right.
they were 20 years ahead of the basketball of what things they were doing, like the fast break, the full court press, and 100 points. Did you remember much of anybody else scoring 100 points back in those days?
Not in that time, no. No, it was ball control. Most teams were ball control and wait for the sure shot, you know.
Well, Dr. Lambert at Memphis State University, just a short time after this, I was there, and so was Ryan, his assistant coach, brought some of his men. Dr. Lambert beat Ole Miss 25-24, and that was the way like he liked it. He's control ball, and not big scores. A little more on that story too. Anyhow, one night, I'll have to tell it now that I've messed it up. Dr. Lambert wasn't able to come to work, and Dr. Lambert had brought Coach Arnold Ryan and about 3 of his players down there, and they played control ball all the time. But Dr. Lambert had the cold or something, didn't come, and Coach Arnold Ryan was coaching them, and he let them run. He told them to run and go, and they scored more than 100 points. And when Dr. Lambert, a couple of games, so when Dr. Lambert came back, he said, well, we got to start running that. And they did. So, all right, 1951, what happened? How many games and what?
Well, they went undefeated in 51.
And 40 games.
Puxico did.
Puxico 97, Skidmore 43. Yeah, that's the game you told about a while ago. Skidmore was undefeated.
Right.
40 games, undefeated, and won the state tournament.
JP, do you remember that story in there that Coach Ryan went out to check on a couple of his stars, and he came to this one, and he was digging post holes for his neighbor, his farmer neighbor. And he said, well, you should be resting up for the game. So Coach Ryan went and gave him $5, which he would have earned all day, and took him home so he could rest. And he says, well, where's this other star? Well, he's out there loading railroad ties. Oh my! So Coach Ryan went out and looking for him. He never did find him out in the woods. But that night, this boy made about 20 points, and the other boy made about 40. So Coach Ryan says, well, maybe all of you should cut railroad ties.
How about that? Isn't that good? Oh, all right. 1952, they won the state champions that year, undefeated, 40 games. So then I was surprised at some of those scores, almost 150 points. 140, 135, a whole bunch of them, a lot of them 100 something.
And a lot of them boys went on to play big time.
Yeah, Will Fong and Forrest Arnold and some of those guys, are you familiar? Did they go to the St. Louis basketball professional? Well, first they went to college though, didn't they? They all got college.
Some went to Memphis State.
Yeah, okay.
And Will Fong went to Missouri.
St. Louis?
No, he went to Missouri University.
Oh, okay.
I think he went a couple of years, and then he probably got partying up there. You know, there's that can be a party town, you know.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't eligible, and he went to the service, and then he came back, and then I think he might have went to Memphis State or nothing before he went to the pros. Well, what would they have scored if they had the 3-point rule then?
Oh yeah, they didn't do that yet, did they?
No, no matter where he shot it.
And I remember that one of the players told the coach back in those days. You remember we shot the ball down between our legs and slung it up there. You remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One of his players said, "Hey, coach said, why don't you just let us shoot what do they call that shot? The jump shot or something? Push up and so
one hand.
Yeah, one hand over. Yeah." So Coach Ryan said, okay, let's try it. They did, and that was see, that's 20 years before the team started doing that. Long time before they started full court press. Long time before they started the fast
break. One hand jump shot was just starting.
Yeah.
And Puxico was probably one of the first ones. Most coaches taught 2-hand push shot. Okay,
I want to tell about the little freshman, Ansel Cookson. He was the ball handler. He was too little. He didn't weigh 100 pounds, about 80 pounds. And all these other big guys. And so he practiced with the high school team all the time. And he got the coach let him be the ball boy, and he did. And Ansel was just begging and pleading for him to get him a suit, and they had to get an old suit and let his mother cut it down so he could wear it, and he did. And then he had a hard time getting him in the game because he was so small. The bigger boys just knocked him around, and he afraid he was going to get him hurt. And in fact, one time he put him in, and he shot, and the ball bounced off. He went after it, and one of the other guys just grabbing it, knocked him right out of the hole. But anyhow, one night, he'd sitting on the end of the bench, and he'd gotten him a suit, and so Coach Ryan figured out how he could put him in this game. He said, now, Ansel, go across the center line and down to your front court while they're shooting that free throw. But you tell all those big men in there that once they rebound, to sling it down court to you, and you be down there. But he forgot to tell the other guys, or didn't have a chance probably. So it didn't work. So coach took him back out and said, and then he said, what did I tell you to do? And he said, why didn't you do what? He said, Finally, though, he said, you just sit on a bench until you decide to do what I want you to do. Well, anyway, I finally got him ready and put him back in. And all the fans were wondering, what's this kid, little bitty Dickon, doing down there on the other end of the court? So anyhow, sure enough, they rebound, they got the ball. He told them this time, he said, now this is what the coach said, so we got to do it. I'm going to be there, y'all going to get the ball, y'all going to rebound, you're going to sling it down there. They did. He got the ball, he shot it through there. And that was part of what some of the first fast break came from. Later they called it the sneak. Later they developed it so that a bigger man, a faster man, or whatever man, they do it regularly. When they lost control of the ball, when the other team shot, passed it out of the way, one of them sneaked and left, and they get that ball and throw it down there, and they just made bold, cool scores like that. So much for that. Well, J.P. White, SportsSpeak Sports, Les Hall, I'm telling you, I'm glad that we knew about the Puck ball game, aren't you?
Sure am. But then Coach Ryan, he up and left.
He was a fine human being.
He said, I done everything I could right here. So I guess he accepted another challenge.
Yeah, right. So J.P. White, Les Hall, Puxico Indians, 2 years almost undefeated, 2 state championships. They went on to win that state championship in 1982, as they did in 1981.
51.
Say what now? 51.
52.
Yeah, 1951, 1952. Thanks, Les. J.P. White, SportsSpeak Sports, and we'll have another one the next time.
Mitchell Sawn Supply in Evadale, Highway 96 South. 36 years of professional service and superior work. Mitchell Sawn Supply, your certified steel dealer with a full line of steel parts and accessories. No job's too big or too small. They've got tools for everything. Mitchell Sawn Supply, open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. till 5:30, Saturday, 7 till noon. Be sure to check out their line of guns and their complete gun shop, as well as all the ammunition you'll need for whatever you're hunting. Mitchell Sawn Supply, Evadale. SportsSpeak Golf Cars and Motorbikes, Highway 327 West in Silsbee, has a sophisticated, street-legal Tony Lamborghini golf cart, 6-seaters, 4-seaters, customized trailers, LaFree electric bikes, manual pedal bikes, and a motorized Velo Solex, tires, wheels, trolleys, and accessories for Club Car and E-Z-Go. SportsSpeak Golf Cars and Motorbikes, Highway 327 West in Silsbee. Call them at 385-3838.